What is going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be bringing you round 1 of the store championships that happened at level 7 games on Saturday the 18th. This is going to be the first of a double header of store championships that we had today. So today we will have the level 7 store championships, and then tomorrow we will get to the RMC store championship. So if you're interested in more store championship content and matches, make sure to subscribe because I will have plenty of that coming up this week as well as the upcoming weeks. So as we see, the LordKnight player did whiff the rookie, but did get the TK, which is not the worst start because now you make it so your opponent can't memory choke you, and you're going to be able to get to your megas and your ultimates a lot more freely, but missing the rookie turn 1 isn't the best. Reading Sorajo really quick. Sorajo going to 4, so not too awful just because LordKnight's going to go to 3 anyway. So we see the Starmons, deciding to digivolve the Starmons over the Pulsemon, so you can use the Pulsemon as cycle later. Has the option to go to Mega if there is a Mega in hand. The only Mega I see is Slash, so I don't think you want to go into that right now. Considering Pulsemon, just another TK, so opponents are just going to keep putting each other back to 4. I'm not 100% sure what you want off this TK if there's no Mega. That looks like a lot of champions and a Pulsemon, and then there's a Knightmon. So Knightmon works. That will work a lot later when LordKnightmon comes out. Also, I do apologize for the top of the table getting cut off. Unfortunately, there was another tournament going on for Magic. It was a pre-release, and so the table space was a bit limited, so I had to use what I had, and the angle that we got did cut off the top a little bit. Hexeblau is now out, which is not going to be doing anything at the moment just because LordKnightmon doesn't have anything coming out or anything on board, and if we do see the Mega come out with that Slash and then go into either Valderarm or get the LordKnightmon, swing out the Knightmon and then put Slash on top of that, can all threaten the Hexeblau. Depending on what they want to do here, going to go into Slash, they'll give -8. Hexeblau will now go down, well, just going to Valderarm, go to 6 and just clear it completely, so don't have to worry about that. Slash was just a placeholder to get to the Valderarm. I think I see 3 Paildramon and a Crisp Paildramon in hand. Okay, gonna go ahead and play one of the Paildramons as a hard play, going to 1, so that's not the best value to get out of the 6 memory, but looking at Hexeblau's hand, I don't think there's too many other options. Just hard playing 2 Paildramons. I do think I was correct in seeing 3 of those in hand, and just gotta start dumping them out, but this is a very bad position because none of these are going to be able to touch the Valderarm. There is a bit of glare on Valderarm, but we know that's Valderarm and it's not going to be able to change since it is already a level 7. And that is a bit of a downside because if they do trash the resources, then Valderarm will be useless once Hexeblau comes out and can't digivolve on top of it, can't put any sources underneath it. So that's something that you do have to consider when going into Valderarm with this matchup. But looking at how the board is playing out, it doesn't look like Hexeblau is going to really be able to do anything of too much note here within the next couple turns, just considering they're only at 1 memory. LordKnightmon has a very great hand, gonna bring out the War Growlmon, be able to Digiburst, go into LordKnightmon, swing, play the Knightmon. So trashing the bottom 2, gaining a memory from Bulokomon, and swinging for 5k or 4k, but does die in the security check to Unimon. 2 memory, I don't think there's anything that can really digivolve for 2 memory on this board outside of Lobomon onto the Sorajo, so whatever gets played is likely going to be a higher cost card. Yep, there's the 3rd Paildramon, just playing it for 5 so that way you can get better mana usage instead of just putting your opponent at 1. And letting them go to 3 with TK. So Digiburst to pop one of the Paildramon. Now going into LordKnight. LordKnight will swing and play the Knightmon. I'm sure not going to be able to kill the Sealamon because the egg is Upa, so there's no Pikmon pressure coming out from either. Knightmon, pop the Paildramon. Upamon won't activate because there is 4 security left, I believe. Pokes for 14, hits the Omni, which is going to kill it, but he is going to gain 3 memory, which I guess isn't the worst thing. If you have Slash here, this could be a nice one to just clear the blocker, but I don't see any Slash. You probably want to Digivolve on top of this Knightmon to prevent Sorajo but now it doesn't matter. Just gonna double Starmons and pop the Sealamon. So Sorjo now will finally get some usage, but it might be a little too late with no rookie going on the bench the past couple turns and this wide board coming out. There's now 4 swings to 2 security checks, and there is the possibility that LordKnightmon does just drop the Bushiagumon. I actually think the only way that Hexablow doesn't die next turn is if they hard play Hexablow, which would shut off the Starmons and the Knightmon, but the chances they just get Digivolved on top of are super high. Yeah, we're just going to see Hexablow go ahead and scoop right there. There really wasn't anything there to do. I do think that the best play was probably playing Hexablow, but that was still just a losing play. Okay, so getting into game 2, we're going to have Hexablow going first, Gomamon into Sealamon. LordKnightmon has a couple Starmons we see, so not going to worry about missing the rookie there. And then going to Digivolve into Gladdymon, just to put the opponent at 1. Gladdymon is kind of an interesting card, just because we've seen a lot of LordKnightmon lists start to cut it. Going into Chris Paildramon, but there is no Digimon on the opponent's side of the board, so we won't get the on-Digivolution effect, but does have an ultimate on board. We'll be able to hatch next turn, go into another rookie, start cycling and building up again, while also threatening to be able to just go into a Hexablow right now. So they just Digivolve into War Growlmon. There was another option to promote and TK there, and then next turn you could hatch and build back up and raising. Going to War Growlmon is a pretty good play here because you can threaten the minus 4k DP reduction, which if you have Slash, does just get rid of Hexablow. But if you don't have Slash, then you're going to need to see Blinding Ray to make it so you can guarantee you go into LordKnightmon if that's your other option. Takumi will choke the opponent, but there is the Slash right there. So I imagine that this is just going to be the play. No need to Digiburst. Just put the opponent at 2. Get rid of the Chris Paildramon. Now your opponent no longer has their ultimate. You have a Mega out, which is great because you can threaten Valderarm with your Slash. And also you're going to be able to raise, or be able to build in raising next turn. Gomamon's going to have to put in a lot of work. Promoting here I do think is a little bit interesting. To me that tells that he wants to cycle the babies a lot, because we saw that didn't Digivolve on top of the Gomamon, so promoting didn't give Takumi Aiba value, but did make it so Gomamon now can die potentially to something like Starmons, which we're probably about to see happen. Starmons, pop the Gomamon as it only has 1k DP. We do see Hexablow has another Gomamon. Gomamon immediately will go into raising. It is a pretty good card to get in there. I don't know if they had any other rookies in hand to even have an option. Probably going to want to look to try to get into a Mega, or else this Monzemon is just very likely to die. Digivolves into the HexeForce, which is not going to be the most optimal Mega here because we don't have any blue Tamers. We know Sorajos. I don't think there is going to be any V-Tamer ties in here, so it's probably just the Sorajos. Digivolve Security Attack -2 with the Angelmon, and then Digivolve 4-1. Promote the Sealamon. Do see the Chris Paildra, which could Digivolve, tap for Takumi to get an extra draw, and trash the bottom Digivolution sources, but it is looking a little rough right now. HexeForce has Security Attack -2 on it, so it can't threaten anything. Hexablow is likely going to need the LordKnightmon player to just whiff all of their LordKnightmons here and assume that they can't go to 3 with Blinding Ray. We do see the Valderarm, which is an option. It can only clear one of the Digimon, but it could be a potentially decent option. Gonna Blinding Ray and then go into Slash to pop this. Are we gonna see the Valderarm to just clear the board? 2 Slash on board to potentially go on top of. Gaining a memory because of the Patamon inheritable there. I assume you'd want to get rid of the Mega. If you do go for Valderarm here, yeah, you give your opponent 5 memory, but they have nothing to do with it because they don't have anything in raising. They don't have anything on board. So I think going into Valderarm is pretty safe here. Yeah, we're going to see go to 5. Pop the HexeForce. Now, I don't know how the HexeForce player is going to get back into this. Bolokomon into the Tobyumon. Can build something up in raising, but there's only 3 checks with 4 swings coming in. Gonna have to either Kakaida's Breath or hard play a blocker here to just not be dead next turn. Obviously, things like Hammer Spark or Kakai's Breath and Security could change that, but that's not something that's guaranteed, and you don't really want to base your game plan around your Security being the cards that you need exactly. Going to pop the bottom and put Pito to the bottom of the deck. So that does get rid of one. It's like a Kakaida's Breath, but you get rid of the least impactful card on the board. But you haven't lost yet, unless there's a Bushi in hand, because there's 5 memory. I'm looking, I don't think I see a Bushi. Go to 3, there's Gladdy. Poking for 14. Then likely swinging with Slash, yep, there it is. Hit Sorjo. Probably won't hard play anything after seeing that, so not going to get any memory, but does have a Tamer on board. But I don't see how this will help now, because at only 1 memory, you're not going to be able to get up to Ul Force, so you're not going to be able to potentially do Ul Force things with Sorjo. Got a lot of cards in hand, but just not the memory to really do anything super impactful. Yep, just goes ahead and scoops it right there. Wargarurumon. So that was it for the first round of this Store Championships. If you enjoyed, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like and if you subscribed, because I will be having more content coming later today. With that being said, I hope you have a great day. Peace out.